Hello, beautiful moms and entrepreneurs. My name is Sharice Walker, and I'm your host of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. This is a place where we come together to learn, grow, and inspire. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Hello, Unbreakable Mompreneurs. Today I am here with Ann Carden, and she has a remarkable talent of helping people grow their businesses. And so we are going to just dive in. And Ann, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Sharice. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Ann Carden, and I am a business growth consultant. Also, I have I'm CEO of Expert in You brand and marketing media agency.
Fantastic. And so I see the book behind you. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, actually, that's my new magazine. I'll just hold it up here. Yeah, this is my brand new magazine. I'm building out the media side of my business. And I created the magazine, several reasons. I'll be able to monetize it in my business, but I also wanted to give my clients a platform to build their influence in the media. And so I can feature them because I work with people that are really experts at what they do. I can feature them and help them build their influential brand and be seen in just a bigger way, build that visibility. So that's what you're looking at. I do have an Expert in You book, actually, an actual book, but
okay. No, I think that's great. It's a magazine and a book. That's great. So how can clients that you work with create $1 million brand? Because you talk about going from 40,000 to 250,000 clients, months, paydays. How can that be possible?
Yes. So I help people work at a really high end of their business. So think about premium versus low ticket or sort of mainstream. And the model that I teach people, I take people that already have expertise, skills, knowledge, and they want to really level up things, or they want to start something, but they want to really leverage their value that they bring to the marketplace. And so by doing that, I help them play in a premium market to get positioned as a true expert, as a true authority, where they can get paid premium fees. They can get the best clients and the best opportunities. So when you think about K to 150K plus clients, months, or paydays, each one of those things take a different strategy. Some people that come to me want those really high-end clients. I have a client that was able to close a $413,000 client. So some of my clients want those really high-end clients. Other clients that I work with they have some high-end services, but they're ready for that next level, which is still high, but now they want more of a one-to-many approach, and they want to be able to really scale that. So a good example of this is maybe they're already selling $50,000 packages, but now they want to sell $30,000 packages in a group for 6 months. So that would be one example. The other thing I help them do when they're really ready to grow and scale is to start doing things like running ads, building out their team, automation, all of the things that really go with growing a business. But I always like to say, if you think about $1 million business, for example, if you are selling $50,000 packages or programs, that's only 20 clients. So it's a very leveraged way to really build your business and also use your expertise.
So does somebody, before they start working with you, do they need to have an idea in mind of what they're doing? Do they need to have an audience up and running, or do you help them go from ground zero up to more?
Both.
Okay.
So I have two different ways I work with people. I don't typically target people that don't have skills or knowledge or experience. They're just kind of coming and saying, okay, I think I want to be a coach. I think I want to be a consultant. I think I want to start something. I don't work with those people. For example, one of my clients is a surgeon and a physician. She runs her own practice. She's a specialist, and she's turned her practice into a concierge practice, but she's the first one to do it in specialty medicine. And so she wants to coach other people on how to be able to do that so they can get their time and their freedom back from their practice. So that would be an example, or a CEO coming from corporate that is ready to step into something new. Maybe they want to consult or they want to coach. So those would be more the startup people that I work with, and I can help them figure out what that looks like. So I can extract all that value that they have, and then what do they want, to really help them define what is important to them and what their vision is. So that would be one thing that I do. But then A lot of my clients that come to me, they've already been coaching, consulting, they've already got a business going, and they want to really level things up in their business. They want to go more premium, they want to build their influence, they want scalable strategies and scalable things that they can do in their business, but they don't want a volume business. They don't want to give away all of their time. They're not looking for thousands of people to be in their world. They're looking for, again, to be the top of their industry.
So how did you get involved in this?
It's interesting. It goes way back. Actually, when I was in corporate, I was in high-end retail stores, and I was a business manager, and I ran high-end department stores or high-end departments in these luxury stores. Everything from the fur department, this goes way back, this really dates me like 40 years ago when furs were a thing. But we used to run events with furs. And then I managed at one time high-end cosmetics, where I had 36 women that worked under me in high-end cosmetic lines. So I have worked in the sort of the luxury premium market with my retail background, and I did that for 13 years. Well, when I started my own businesses, I quickly realized that playing at the low end of a market is a way to broke. And so I was always looking for, how can I step this up? How can I give people more and also make more? And so I started doing premium services way back in my very first business, my second business. And I've taught this even before I got into it with coaching. I used this model and it changed the game for me. Things like 9/11 hit and the economy took a crash in 2008. I expanded and opened 3 more businesses. Everyone else was shutting down. What allowed me to do that is I was playing in a premium market. I was going after the people that had money, that they were doctors, they were lawyers, they were business people. I wasn't trying to get everybody. I was trying to get the best people. And that strategy saved me through multiple economy changes and just competitors, lots and lots of things that came into those businesses as I was building. Well, when I came into coaching and I started working in coaching as a business coach, I joined a coaching organization thinking this is my way. I don't need to build out my own stuff. I'll just use the stuff they've already created. And what I found is that they were, again, everything was to bring in very low value clients. And what I found is I didn't enjoy the clients. Like, I wanted their success more than they did. Yeah. They weren't ready for everything that I could do with them. It was often a struggle because they didn't have money. And so how much can you do with somebody when they're just stressed out all the time about money? And so I took a step back. That's really where my Expert in You brand came from. I thought, what is wrong here? Why am I hitting this revenue ceiling in my coaching business? Why am I getting the clients that I want their success more than they do? And I really had to think about all of those things. And I realized it was because I was targeting the wrong people. I wasn't targeting the people that really had a vision and really wanted success. And they were all in, they were committed, they were hungry for it. I wasn't targeting those premium people because of everything that I had been taught. I was targeting the people that were dabbling, that were playing, that they were only thinking about their business like a job. And so that kept me broke. And so I made that shift in my business. And when I really started looking at what's going on in the industry, what I saw is everybody was targeting volume. Everybody was teaching volume strategies. They were teaching people, build a big audience and run these things and sell little bitty $47 things and the funnel, right? The ascension model. And I decided that model wasn't something I was going to do. And I flipped it upside down and I never looked back.
See, there's something to be said, because I wrote like The Iceberg, you see that book, and so it's called Flipping the Iceberg. And so many times, like, we think we have to take what's on top, and if you flip it, you can go so much higher, and there's so much more. Mindset is a huge thing. And so how did you overcome like working with those people that the dabblers, we'll call them the dabblers, who don't have a lot, and they're probably not going to get there. How did you go from that to the luxury in your mind?
it really, I came across a coach who was talking about getting $30,000 clients. And that was one really good thing that came out of the organization I was with, is he exposed me to the opportunity of something much bigger. And I thought a $30,000 client, like that was something I hadn't had any exposure to because of all the stuff I was being taught online and because of what I was being taught with this coaching organization. And when he did that, it really just, that was the thing I think that really jogged me forward and said, okay, Ann, you know, the luxury market or the high-end market works. You've done that all your career. You've done that. And I actually hired that coach. He helped me close my first $30,000 client. And that was a big shift for me. So it was really just understanding how to be able to sell those services and how to capitalize on that. But I also found that I got better clients. I got people that I loved working with. And that was the real upside. I mean, money aside, that was the real upside. Now I got to do things with them that they were ready for me. They, I really got to use my expertise and my experience with them. As I started really digging into this more, I realized, oh my gosh, there's even more opportunity. People are getting multi-six-figure deals. People are getting seven-figure deals. And so I just really went all in. I started working with people. And when I just saw the results a brand new, a guy that I worked with, brand new, had never coached before, but wanted to sell some services, went out and closed $150,000 client, first client out of the gate. But it's because of how we packaged him, marketed him, and how he sold the services. And so that's just one story. There have been multiple people that, it's what I do. It's what I help them do. But the shift for me was to know that I could and to just figure out what does that look like and how can I do that?
It's so interesting because I'm the type of person that wants to give. And I have my whole life. I'll give you everything I know, everything I do, and I'll spend hours helping you and for nothing, right? And then it's like, oh, okay, well, I just spent some time. And here's a perfect example. So listeners, I want you to think about your value, and I want you to think exactly what Ann's talking about, that she had to believe that she could. Because I was literally sitting across the table from two clients yesterday where they're wanting me to help them buy an investment property. Okay, this is what I've done for 25 years, actually. So I know it. Plus, I've invested in tens of thousands of dollars just this year alone in investing groups that I'm a part of, so that I can have that network and be around people. Because you mentioned that as well, is to be able to get yourself around those people. And so they're sitting there talking, and they're like, so if you make 3% as a buyer's agent, you can have 2 and we want the 1%. And I'm like, excuse me? Are you an agent? No. And I said, so why are you getting the 1%? And I didn't say that to them. I thought it, but when I first started as a real estate agent, I'll take it. I don't want to lose it because I was so hungry. And now it's like, you have only a limited amount of time. And where, if it's 10 hours a week that you want to work, 20 hours a week, 40, 60, 80, it doesn't matter, but there's a limited amount of time that you have. And if you are not confident enough in yourself that you're willing to shortchange yourself and cut your commission or whatever it is to help this person who's not appreciative of it, because clearly they don't value.
They never are. No.
I know. I had him a list of 198 things that a buyer's agent does. And he's like, okay, well, can I still have the 1%? And I said, I don't know if it's going to take one visit or 6 months to help you find the property that you're looking for. And so, no, I'm not going to cut my commission. And he's like, well, I'll get back to you tomorrow. And I'm like, do I even want to work with that person? And I think that that's the part and the mindset that we have to get to as coaches, as businesswomen, or business people in general, is that you have a value. And you need to believe that what you have is worthwhile and it's worth what you're charging. And if you can't get to that point and you don't believe that and you discount because you're so desperate to have money, then that's a mindset issue that you've got to work on yourself. And so kudos to you that you've overcome that. And obviously you're doing very well. And
I help other people overcome it. You know, it's actually really funny that you talk about this, because when I've had people ask me on podcasts, so Ann, how do you help other people overcome it? You asked me how I overcame it, but how do you help other people overcome, mindset around being able to charge these high fees and things like that. And it's really funny because I actually hold back with them typically when we're like just leveling them up and starting things like, okay, a good example, it's really hard to take somebody that's been charging $1,500 to $150,000. I mean, it just is, right? So, but I can take them to 50. I've done that. I've taken people from 1,700 to now getting $50,000 clients. But the interesting thing is, after we do that and they get that first one and they're shaking, right there. I mean, it's scary. But I take them through every piece of it, how to sell it, how to talk to the client, how to position themselves. I take them through every piece to be able to close that deal. And the thing that they come back and say, oh, I could have charged more. Because they just said yes. They said yes so fast and so easy. And so to your point, you said, do I even want to work with this person? I have a philosophy. You're looking for the people looking for you.
Yes.
I'm looking for the people looking for me, the people that know they are ready to level up. They know that they're not getting paid what they deserve. They know that they could be making so much more. They know they could be having so much more influence and growing their business and getting unstuck from that revenue they've been stuck in. They know these things. They just haven't found the person that can help them do it, because everybody's out there with volume, or they say high ticket, 5,000. And now I am hearing 25,000, but 25,000 should be your low ticket. That should be your low ticket when you're playing in this kind of a market, or this kind of level. So when people say high ticket, I say, okay, what do you mean by high ticket? 3,000, 5,000, maybe 10. That's not high ticket in the high ticket world. It's just not.
No, it's
$1 million client. You could call that high ticket.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and I think that that's the part that you have to overcome with yourself. And there are, I will say, some people I've spent 25,000 on a few that absolutely were not worth that. Obviously.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, do your homework and make sure that they have proof in the pudding and they're not newbie type people. Because
I would say too, if people feel frustrated with what they're charging and they feel like, okay, so for me, I remember my very first coaching clients. I went out, I was already networking with some other businesses before I sold them. So I knew a lot of business owners, and I wanted to see if I could actually transfer my skills to other people, everything I've learned and everything I know. And so my very first two clients, the first one I got from the second one I got from speaking, but the first one I got because it was somebody I knew from networking, and I just went right to her and I said, hey, Sandy, I want to step into business coaching, but I want to see if I can do it. So I charged her very small fees, and I signed her up for 90 days. And in the first week, she had a 300% increase in her store. She had a low retail store, and in the first week, she had a 300% increase. And at that point, I started kicking myself like, okay, I did not charge enough, but I can't backpedal now, right? So I kept working with her for that 90 days. And then the second person, within our first hour call, I uncovered a $500,000 opportunity for her and her partner that they did not even see, did not even know was there, and it wouldn't have cost them a dime to do it. But they were focused on the wrong thing in their business. They were not focused on the real money maker. They were focused like over here. And when I uncovered that, I said, I need to be charging more. So I knew in my gut, and I think that was part of my frustration. I thought, I've spent 40 years at that point it was 30 something, but I've spent 30 something years learning what I've learned. And I have made the mistakes. I have lost money. I've experienced the pitfalls. And I know that is worth its weight in gold to somebody. If I can help them, helping a client go from 0 to $1 million in a year, I should have charged him more. I'm just going to say.
No, it's very, very true. I gotta tell you, that's how some of these marketing gurus say it is, well, if I have $1 and I give you $10 in return, would you give me the $1? And so there's this huge philosophy you probably see, you probably run in the same areas that I have. And Yeah, if somebody says, okay, I'll pay 25,000, but you can make me 300 in 3 months, of course people are going to like drop in money, but then where's the proof? And is that, you
Well,
gotta,
and social proof and credibility is definitely a piece of it. You said it, do your homework.
Yeah.
What is this person's experience?
Mhm.
One other thing that I want to say around this too is a lot of people are out there and they're kind of a one-trick pony. So maybe they know how to do one, like, okay, start a Facebook group and then monetize the Facebook group. But here's the thing, if they don't really understand what you do and who you should be working with, is that even the right thing for you? No, they're just selling their thing. And I bought into things like that where they told me, yes, your clients are on Facebook. They're there. This is when I was working like with small business owners. Well, what I found is startups were there, but they weren't the people I was trying to get to or trying to reach. And so the one thing that I have learned is that someone's experience and depth and years is extremely valuable, especially like with me, it's extremely valuable because I've worked in over 80 industries with coaching people and hundreds of people. I have seen a lot in all those industries, what works, what doesn't work. I've seen where the money is, where the money's not. All of that insight and value comes when I work with a client to make sure that they are going down the right path, to make sure that they're doing the right things. And I just don't think you get that everywhere because somebody's figured out how to do something and now they're selling it.
Yeah. And it's such a huge and popular thing. It was at a rise about 3 years ago. I've seen that it's kind of started to die down because some of the people that were just hypers and not actual doers, they haven't been able to survive. So tell me what expert and authority marketing is and why is it important?
Yes, so really expert and authority marketing, influence marketing, whatever you want to call it, is really being positioned really strong in the market. So we don't have the luxury today to not be online. I mean, even if you don't really want to play online and you want to get all of your clients through networking or speaking or whatever, that's fine, but you should still have a really strong presence online, and your online presence should be powerful because that will help you get more speaking, that will help build credibility. So it's really marketing that has built credibility so that when people come to you to buy, they don't question whether or not you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not even like I know you're the person. I know you're the person that can help me. That is influence marketing. That's authority marketing.
I was in a conference over the weekend. I was driving like 8.5 hours. So I was listening to this conference the whole way. And the guy said that you should have clients that thank you for paying whatever it is that they just paid to hire you.
They happily pay you. That's
yeah,
right.
and they do. They shouldn't, because you do such a good job and you deliver and it's successful and they've changed their life. And so that's the goal that you get to. And so tell me what the expert in you method is and the 4 steps to building a high-end business.
Yeah, so it really comes down to 4 things. It's your offers, it's your revenue model, it's your marketing, it's your sales, and then it's your scalability. And that means everything. But I have my 4-step method this would be for somebody that is already doing stuff, they already have a business. So if I'm going to take them to that next level, then I have a 4R system. The first one is redesign your revenue model. Is it scalable? Are you getting paid the highest fees, the most premium fees? Do we need to add other levels of services and revenue? So you can use it as a downsell. So think about, I have visuals out there of this, but think about a pyramid. And at the top, let's say you've got 3 levels or 4 levels in that pyramid. At the very top, you've got your premium VIP customers and clients. Maybe that's $150,000 client. Then the next level down is a $50,000 one-to-many approach. And then the next level down is maybe a quick offer for $25,000, might be an assessment or whatever that is. So we use that top-down approach, but you want several ways that people can work with you. So if someone comes to you and they can't afford the 150 thing, you're still selling the same thing, but they can go into the group and get the same thing, the same results, but now they're sharing your time. And that is the model, the revenue model that I really teach people. And so you want different ways that people can work with you. But I just want to say this. I always believe in things being in integrity. So I'm not going to sell someone a 12-month program if they don't need 12 months with me. If they just need one thing fixed, let's just fix the thing. That could be a VIP day or a 30-day. And so, but I'm still always doing the same thing with my clients. It's just what amount of time do they need? And do they want to work with me privately, or do they want to work with me in a group, or whatever that looks like? So redesign your revenue model so that you're getting paid premium fees. The second thing is revamp your marketing. Everything has to level up. Your market might have to level up. Your influence you need an influence system, and you need a marketing system or systems that can bring you clients like clockwork, and not just clients, high-end clients. And then the third piece is restructure your sales process. So I have secrets kind of that I help people with their sales process so that they're making more money when they sign a client. They're getting more money in their bank account. So this could be they're getting more paid in fulls. Say you bring in a $50,000 client and they're paying you in full. You get all that money in your bank account. How much faster can you now grow because you've got cash flow? One thing that is taught out there is, especially for coaches and consultants, be the bank. Be the bank. You be the bank for your clients, and they pay you, and you break it up, and then guess what? You never make any money because you're funding everybody else. So I don't do that. Yes. So I have two ways of doing things in my business. One is I use a third-party funding company. So my clients can fund through them. It's no different for them, except that a lot of times they can get a better payment plan doing that. I get paid in full with that funding company. That gives me the cash flow, and then I continue to work with them for whatever amount of time that is. The second way, though, let's say for whatever reason they can't get funding, maybe they're in another country or whatever, and they can't get the funding, then what I do is I take a lot more on the front end, and then I will break up the payments. So this really does two things. It helps you with cash flow for your business, but it also makes sure that you get really high-end clients. People that are serious, people that are all in, not people that are just looking for the next best thing, and they're flighty. And so when you ask people to make that kind of a commitment, you get better people. So it's twofold. And then the fourth level is rev up your revenue. And this is where you scale, you build your team, automation, paid ads, adding affiliates, adding partnerships, all of the things that go with scaling a business. So it's redesign your revenue model, revamp your marketing, restructure your sales process, rev up your revenue. That is my 4-step system. Within that, there's a lot of moving parts, but that's it in a nutshell.
That's fantastic. That's great. And I love that you've packaged it into succinct, and I love that you say small would be 25,000 versus 150,000, because you're right. There's a lot of people out there start with $7 or start with $47 or $97. There's all these tactics, and you're like, no, the low end is 25,000.
Yeah. And I mean, it could be 10 or 15 or whatever, but that's still not low. I mean, that's still not super low, right? Most people, their high ticket might be 10,000. I think Sharice, one day I did a training in a Facebook group of women, and after that training I was talking about basically the same thing, leveraging your expertise and your experience. And I had someone reach out to me in Messenger, and she said, "Where have you been? I wish I would have known about you 3 years ago." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" So I'm chatting with her, and she said, "I've gone broke trying to build my business." And I said, "Well, what do you do? What are you selling?" And it was some kind of she was trying to build a membership, a $97 membership or something. And I said, "Well, what was your background?" She had a doctorate. She had a PhD in technology. And I just was sick to my stomach. I mean, she said, "I sold my home." She had this terrible story. And she went down just build a membership and sell it for $9. I'm not saying those things can't work. Those are great scale strategies, but they're not strategies that are typically going to get you very far when you're starting out, because you need a lot of people. You need a lot of traffic. Those are expensive strategies.
Yeah. And I've known many people that have gone broke because they keep
many
many
Yes.
that keep buying another and buying another. Like I was on a call with this girl, invited me to this training, and I was her guest. And they, of course, did the sell. And I immediately called her and said, no, you are not buying anything else. You have too much to focus on. Stop buying. Because there is a point where if you're going to buy this product, then give it a time that you're supposed to so that you can try it and implement. If you're constantly buying program after program after program, because it's only $7, it's only 47, it doesn't matter. You're never going to get into it because you don't.
No, and you're not going to get it very far with something for $7.
Yeah.
And I actually want to speak to that too, because one of the things that I say all the time is I'm an A to Z coach. I'm an A to Z consultant. And the reason for that is because people are trying to piecemeal their business together, doing exactly that. That is a ticket to broke. You cannot you need someone that can look at your business, look at what you do, look at where you want to go, someone who's experienced and knows what business is all about, has built businesses, that can give you the guidance and the support that you need instead of you piecemealing. If you don't do that, you are going to forever probably spin your wheels, unless you just get lucky at some point. But most people don't. When they're trying to it's like patching your business together. It just doesn't work. It's not cohesive. It's not, and this is why people jump from thing to thing to thing, because they don't have cohesiveness in their business. Nobody's looking, going, okay, here's where you are, here's where you want to go. These are the steps you need to take. Now, along the way, you might decide, I need to become a better speaker. So I teach people how to get speaking engagements and how to get on stages and all that. But I don't teach them how to be good speakers. So that would be something that I would say you need to improve that skill set. So that's where then you go and invest in someone that can help you improve that skill set. But you don't just willy-nilly go out and invest in tactics and strategies and things that may or may not be right for your business, quite honestly. That's why people get frustrated in this industry, and why a lot of people quit, why a lot of people never get even beyond $100,000, because they continue to do the same old grind.
Yeah, no, it's true. Well, Ann, thank you so much. So
that was like a soapbox, wasn't it?
No, it was fantastic. There's just so much information, and I'm on this mission now to start telling people, you've got to do your homework, and it's the shiny object syndrome. It's the next best thing. It's going to get me what I need, and it's the next. And then before you know it, you have no bank account anymore and nothing to show for it. So it's really sad to watch. We haven't talked about momhood at all, and since this is Mompreneur, I want you to imagine yourself sitting on a park bench, and this 9-month-old pregnant woman walks up and sits down next to you. And you have adult children, so you've lived the gamut of momhood. And
I started my first business out of financial hardship for them.
So perfect. So I want any advice that you could give this new mom, first-time mom, and not as a baby mom, but any advice, all the stuff you've learned from all your wisdom and years of experience and living from babyhood to adulthood. What advice would you give that mom?
Yeah, so when I started my first business, and even my businesses after that, my kids, I always included them in some way. And that was really powerful. They saw the work ethic, they saw what it took, but they also were not left out. Now, there were times I think they felt like I shouldn't have worked so much or whatever, but I was at home and I was with them. And even when I started my first fitness business, after my first business, my second business, I took them with me. And so I did things to include them. And so I think in whatever you do, I believe teach your kids entrepreneurship and business, because it is the way to success in whatever economy. And this is why I just really don't like jobs, because you can't. When I left retail, I left that because they were not gracious about, my child is sick and I need to stay home with them. Even though I had done that for 13 years and had built a career, they did not, and I get it. They're running a business too, right? So I think we have so many opportunities as moms to build successful businesses. And we have so much more opportunity today than we did even back when I first started. But don't leave your kids out. Teach them, include them. My son is already taught. I have triplet grandkids that are 7. In fact, I just did a whole presentation around this. What can you learn from 7-year-old triplets about marketing and sales? My son has already taught them entrepreneurship, and they have gone out and learned to make money. And so I think that's important.
I agree. That's fantastic. All right. So our listeners wanted to get a hold of you because they are screaming at the radio, like, why didn't I hear this before? And I say radio. Right. The phone. Tastes me too. How do they find you?
Well, you can find me all over social, but you can go to grab my magazine. This is loaded with great content, good strategies. You can go to expertinyoumagazine.com and get it. And if you want to find me on my website, it's annlcarden.com, annlcarden.com. So either one of those.
Well, thank you so much. And mompreneurs, I hope that you have listened to this and realized that you deserve more than probably you even believe in yourself, and that you can do it. Look at Ann. She's been able to build so many successful businesses and has fantastic clients because she has a system and a process. And so if you're looking to grow, contact Ann. And thank you again for being on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Beautiful moms, remember, you are unbreakable. Keep illuminating the world with your strength, pursuing your dreams, and reveling in the splendor of motherhood. This is Sharice Walker, bidding you farewell for now. Stay tuned for more empowering conversations on the next episode of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. Until then, keep shining bright. Signing off with love, Sharice Walker.